Welcome to the 31st episode of the Three Sportsmen Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Kurt.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Trey.
And in this week's episode, we are going to be doing 3-minute takeaways for week 10 of the 2020 NFL season and talking about some NBA trade rumors leading up to the draft. Before we get started, we'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel, check out our other podcasts, and follow us on social media on Twitter
At Podcast T3S.
and on Instagram.
At T3S Podcast.
We really appreciate any support. So let's get started. 3-minute takeaways, 1 minute for each of us. Week 10. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
All right, Trey, your time starts now.
All right, so I'm going to talk about the Lions and the Washington football team, kind of an under-the-radar game. Stafford actually had a good game. I know I've ripped him in the past, but he actually had a pretty solid game. Alex Smith, a great comeback game, 390 yards. And then I just want to touch on two really solid rookie running backs in Gibson and Swift. Just the league's in such good hands with skill players and, as I mentioned last week, quarterbacks. So I just thought they were worth touching on for this week. And then for tomorrow night, I guess at the time of recording tonight when it comes out, Bears-Vikings. Matt Nagy has finally given up play calling. Should be very interesting to watch. Bill Lazor, not the best offensive coordinator, might give the team a spark for a few weeks, but I don't know. They had to do it. Nagy had to do it to keep his job. I like Nagy as a coach, not a play caller, so I'm excited to see what Lazor's got.
All right, Sam, your time starts now.
All right, I think you guys can all guess this one. Wild guess about who I'm talking about this week. Justin Herbert again. So Justin Herbert versus Tua Tagovailoa this week. Good game to watch, but in my opinion, it was incredibly boring. Herbert, 187 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception. Tua had 169 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. This game does not determine how good Justin Herbert is going to be. It did end his streak of 250 plus pass yards, his record, his streak or whatever. But great game all around. It's boring, but football's football.
Elite jerseys, I'll say that.
Those jerseys look really, really nice today.
Both of them.
I liked the Chargers unis last week. Those were really, really nice.
Oh, the Navy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Navy are great. So far, and assuming Patriots, Bills, and Bears-Vikings aren't as good as this game, which I don't think they will be.
Doubt it.
Bills versus Cardinals, two amazing teams. Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen, he had an okay game, 2 interceptions, but he had 2 touchdowns, 284 yards, and 38 yards on the ground. Stephon Diggs had that amazing touchdown at the very end with, I believe it was 34 seconds left to finish
Talked
the
a
game
lot of
with
trash.
10 receptions, 93 yards, and a touchdown. But you can't talk about this game and forget about DeAndre Hopkins, guy who I've been saying for a while now, easily the best receiver in the league, catching it in triple coverage against Tre'Davious White, Micah Hyde, and Jordan Poyer. Those are basically the Bills' 3 best defenders. He finished the game with 7 receptions for 127 yards and a touchdown. Cardinals going forward are going to be insanely fun to watch. They play Thursday night against Seattle.
That's going to be a good game.
It's going to be a great game. All right, so those were our takeaways from Week 10 of the 2020 NFL season. Let us know your takeaways in the comments section below. The NBA draft is next week, and there have already been a lot of interesting rumors surrounding it and surrounding trades involving veteran players.
Danny to the Bulls? What was that? Who said that?
We were going to save this for the end, but I think since, Sam, you said that, what is your
excited.
I didn't say anything.
one prediction for the draft?
Denny's going to the Bulls. I'm calling it. Denny's going to the Bulls. We're going to sit there. We're not going to move. We're going to let Lowry, Wendell, Zach, and Kobe do their thing. Do their thing this year. Show them, see how much skill we have. Maybe next year we'll trade up. I like where we are right now. I like it.
Trey, do you have any predictions for draft night?
I don't know.
He doesn't.
I kind of feel like Arturis might either trade up or trade down. I feel like he's going to try to make a move,
I could
especially if
100%
someone
see
hot's
trading
up
down.
there. Yeah,
I
like
can
if
see
someone's hot
trading
there,
down.
he could get some assets, find a steal later. Devin
Maybe
Vassell's
we
a good
could.
guy I
Yeah,
really
exactly.
like.
Exactly.
So,
That's what I was saying. That's what I was about to say that we could probably pick up if we traded down.
or
I
Akira
think
Lewis too. He's good.
I think my prediction is the Knicks are going to trade up to top 4.
And it could be the Bulls.
I said this last week. You brought up the Bulls as an option, and looking at Tankathon right now, 8 would be Isaac Okoro.
Who I like. I actually
With-
do like him.
I like Okoro.
With Okongwu, Hayes, and Vassell still on the board.
That's a lot of options. I like all
And-
those players.
Like
Who could the Bulls get? That's the question.
Okongwu
mentioned-
did go to USC. As much as I hate that school, I would love to have him on the Bulls.
He played on that Chino Hills team with the
He
ball.
did.
That's the one thing
There-
so many people forget.
They're saying that's the greatest high school team ever.
I mean, it easily could be.
It definitely could be.
Certainly in the age of social media, it is.
Yeah, it's true.
But I don't know if it's going to be the Bulls. I said last week that I could see them trading for Nick Batum in number 3 if they want to take on a bad contract. But based on some trade rumors from this week, it seems like the Knicks are going to be trying to compete now. So I don't know if they would necessarily take on Nick Batum's contract, but I could totally see them trading up to either 3 or 4.
Compete and Knicks just don't go in the same sentence.
At least for now, they
Wait,
don't.
so if the Knicks traded up, would they be getting LaMelo?
Yes, that's what I would think at least.
If he's
I
on the
wa-
board, okay.
I wonder how desperate he would be. And that's intriguing as a Bulls fan. What would they give us?
I
They could
want
give us a lot.
Knox. I want Knox. Seriously, if they can give us Knox, that would be insane.
Well, I think being on the Knicks isn't doing Kevin Knox any favors right now. I
No,
think
he's not. No,
And now we have a
better
real
off in-
coach. We have a real coach now that can
Mhm.
He'd be
develop
way
him.
better off in Chicago, I think. But one thing that I want to note before we get into some trades, because this kind of ties in with something or a player you mentioned, Sam. When the Raptors unveiled their new jerseys, they only used players who we knew were going to be on the team next year. Kyle Lowry, Siakam, OG. The Bulls City Edition release did not feature Wendell, but it did feature Lowry Markkanen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
And I-
surprised.
And I told you, I think I sent something to you earlier this week that said I saw on Hoops Hype.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, on Hoops Hype,
Yeah.
they were reporting that the Bulls would consider trading up a deal of I think it was number 4 in Wendell for number 2, if I'm remembering it correctly. Let me see if I can find it really quickly.
They need size, though. That's the problem. And Wendell's only 6'9".
Well, yeah. I don't know if they fit. And I think they
think-
prefer Lowry. I think that was a
Yeah,
report
they would
somewhere.
prefer Lowry. Yeah, I mean, if
Yeah, but I
if
think
we're
the Bulls
trading
want
with
to
the
keep
Warriors,
Lowry.
that's
No,
yeah,
like they
exactly.
prefer Lowry. Like
Yeah.
they want to keep him more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then kind of going off of the same thing, moving into other trade rumors, the Spurs in their City Edition announcement, Lamarcus Aldridge and DeMar DeRozan were not in the Instagram post.
Yeah.
Who they have? Who's in it?
It was DeJounte Murray. I want to say Derek White was in it. I know Lonnie Walker was in it as well.
That would be
Lonnie PK.
interesting. That'd be interesting though. Where'd DeMar go? I heard the Lakers. I don't know if
Yeah,
that
do
would
we want to
happen
talk
though.
about that for?
I saw that too. Not gonna
That'd be
lie. I saw
disgusting.
that too.
Yeah, I don't think Popovich would trade with the Lakers though, because if you remember back to when Kawhi was still in San Antonio, Pop was just like, "No, you're going to a different country." So, I think honestly, I think Aldridge is more likely to get traded than DeRozan on draft night.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know who though.
Golden State, for
True.
number 2.
Would he go back to Portland?
Do they have the money for that?
I don't know. That'd be interesting though.
Because what would you realistically give as Portland? I'm
I
pulling up
don't
trade.
know.
I'm pulling up Trade Machine right now.
because I don't know how much I'd give up.
Aldridge is 26 mil.
Okay, the Spurs are at 11, and then they're at 16. I don't know. I don't know if they'd give up their pick or not. I doubt it.
I don't think they would. I think it would have to be players. And I don't think a deal like Nurkic and Ariza is enough to get Aldridge.
No.
You could do McCollum for Aldridge straight up, but I wouldn't do that.
No, I wouldn't either.
Got to keep the dynamic duo together.
Wait. I thought. Do you guys know who Mikey Williams is?
Yeah.
The high school phenom.
Yeah, I thought he played for that team in that high school in California.
I thought he changed schools. I don't know.
Because he says he's in a Lake. It says he's in a Lake Norman uniform.
And where's that? I'm not a.
No, I think it's in Florida because they're playing IMG.
Well, most of those like huge private basketball schools, they play each other. So
Yeah, it's for competition.
Yeah, it's true. So we already have.
well, there have been some other big name players in trade rumors. Do we want to go Harden, Chris Paul, or Westbrook first?
Westbrook is probably the one that's most likely. I mean, Westbrook's guaranteed to be out of there.
In Chris Paul, I would say. I would say both of them.
Okay, let's go Westbrook first. Where do you think he's going to end up?
Knicks.
Knicks.
It would be such a Knicks move. It would be such a Knicks move.
And we're 100% going to see Russell Wilson. I mean, wow. Wow. We're 100. I think we're going to watch Russell Westbrook's career die in New York.
I mean, we already know he looks good in blue and orange, and crosstown rivalry with Kevin Durant that'd be fun.
That would be fun. They would never win a ring with Westbrook.
No.
Nobody would.
You can't. You just can't with him being the number one option. It's just not possible.
As a number one guy, yeah.
He's not a number one anymore.
Well, I think he can be a number one, just not for a championship team.
He could be a number one for the Knicks.
Yeah, but they're not going to be a championship team.
I know.
What would you even trade besides Julius Randle?
And of Arizona and
Kevin Knox.
give him a lifetime supply of Arizona.
No free ads.
No free ads.
I don't even know who. I feel like they wouldn't even need that much to get rid of him. I feel like it's more they want to get rid of him than get assets.
Well, I think one of Westbrook and Harden will leave.
If not both.
I don't think you get rid of both.
Oh, then you'd go full rebuild.
I don't think they're going to go full rebuild.
If you get rid of both, yeah, I mean, I'm intrigued to see what happens with the Thunder this year because I mean they lost Billy Donovan. Didn't they lose another guy too? Didn't they lose like their assistant?
Yeah, he's actually a really good coach.
He is. Former player too, right?
Yeah.
They also lost Dennis Schroeder.
Oh yeah, the trade.
Is that official? Was that official?
It's gonna be finalized Monday.
Okay. So tomorrow. So by the time you're listening to this, it probably has been finalized.
That's true.
So what is it? Danny Green, pick 28.
Yeah.
For Schroeder.
That's a steal.
Yeah, I thought originally it wasn't a terrible deal, but then I did not realize how good Schroeder was last year.
Well, the thing with the Lakers, I think they need a shooting guard more than they need another point guard with Rondo and Caruso.
Danny Bricks.
Oh, that's what he played like in the playoffs, sadly.
Who could they get? I don't know.
I still can't believe that they let him take that 3 in the finals.
Historically, Danny Green has been a pretty good shooter. It's just he's in a major slump right now. I don't know what it is.
I don't know either. I think he's a solid NBA player.
he's still a good defender. And I think that's most of why they kept him in.
Maybe you would turn it around, but they need a replacement for Danny Green. Like they need a bench. That's what the Lakers need. The Lakers need a bench.
They have KCP.
I mean,
Avery Bradley wasn't playing in the bubble.
I think the Bulls bench is better than the Lakers bench.
Well, who are you saying is bench? Is Kobe bench or is Kobe a starter at this point?
Depends on what Billy Donovan thinks, but in my opinion, I think he's a starter.
In this scenario that you're saying the Lakers bench is better than the Bulls bench, is Kobe White on the bench?
If we're talking scenario, I mean, just because of last season, he only started one game, then yes, Kobe's
If
on
we're
the bench.
talking last season, the Bulls bench.
So what was it? Kobe,
What, Kobe,
Gafford,
Thaddeus, Tomas.
No, Sadorinsky started, I thought.
Oh yeah, he did. He did
Dunn.
start. Chris Dunn.
Chris Dunn, yeah.
think your only real
Hutchison.
weakness
Hutchison at full
Hutchison.
Otto was out.
No,
who
Otto was out. I
uh,
was thinking Valentine, but he didn't really play that much.
No, he didn't play that much. Or Shaq.
Or I'm gonna botch this name. Adam Mokoka, I think it is, or Mokuka.
Makoka.
Mokoka, yeah, that's it.
Or the GOAT Felicio.
Yeah, Trey, we were at the game. When Mokoka snapped against I think that was against the Pelicans, or was it against the Heat?
I think it was the Heat because that was just a blowout.
That was terrible. That was a fun game. I mean, the guys next to us made it fun.
They did.
Two more players we need to talk about, Chris Paul and James Harden. I think we're going to finish it off with James Harden. So where does Chris Paul get traded?
I would like to see the Bucks make a deal for it.
They need somebody like that. They really, really need somebody like that.
Do we want to trade machine it real quick?
Let's do it.
I really, really don't. I don't want the Bucks to add anybody because, I mean, I generally think if the Bulls draft well, I think that they have a shot at being first or second in the division this year.
We're not gonna be better than the Bucks.
And over Indy?
Yes, I think we can beat Indy.
Indy will be close. I don't know though.
Because I don't know. Oladipo said he's staying, right?
Yes, seemingly.
It was mixed reports.
Oladipo to the Raptors?
I did see that.
I don't
as
buy
one of the
it anymore.
options. I also saw the Heat for him. Imagine if he goes to the Heat.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but they'd have to give up something. And I think that would take them out of Giannis sweepstakes.
What he said.
Yeah.
All right, so according to the NBA trade machine, a deal for Chris Paul to the Bucks could happen for Bledsoe, Brook Lopez, and George Hill.
And they'd probably, add a pick, do you think, or no?
Yeah, I'd throw in a pick.
I would like to see that. I would really like to see that.
I think you're taking away too much depth from Milwaukee, though.
Just for one guy, exactly.
Because you don't really have anyone great at center behind Brook Lopez. Like, yeah, Robin Lopez is still playing, but he's not as good as he once was.
No, he isn't.
And then who do you have at point guard behind Chris Paul then if George Hill isn't there?
I don't know. If they draft someone.
Hold up, let me see if I could do it for Ilyasova.
Don't they have – no, do they not have a first-round pick?
No, I mean, let's just say, would they trade the first-round pick probably?
Who, Oklahoma City or Milwaukee?
Milwaukee. To make it work.
I mean, they probably could.
They'd probably have to, I would think.
Yeah,
I think if you're going all in, you make those kinds of moves.
They have the 24th pick right now. The Bucks, so it'd be the 24th pick. Maybe a future pick would be a better option. No, actually, never mind.
No, I think it's a win now, especially with how Oklahoma City's built.
Plus, Oklahoma City, don't they have like 15 picks in like the next 3 years or something like that?
I saw it. It's a lot.
From the Clippers.
Yeah, from the Clippers.
The Rockets too, right?
Yeah, they got. I think they got a first rounder from the Rockets.
And then they got one from the Lakers today.
Yeah.
That's true. So add one more.
Plus their own.
And the Nuggets pick.
Oh God, dude.
When was that?
That team?
It was for it was last year. I forgot who it was for.
Don't look at me. Don't look at me. I don't.
Sam, that's your team.
No, I don't. I'm not a big NBA trade guy. Like that's Kurt's department.
Oh, it was Jeremy Grant.
Oh, Grant. Okay.
Kurt knows all of the Kurt. That's Kurt's thing, not mine.
It was Jeremy Grant.
All right. Then one last trade that I want to bring up. James Harden to the Nets has been mentioned.
Oh, God.
That'd be a super team.
The Bulls are still better than them.
I spent probably like 5 minutes trying to make the salary work in Trade Machine.
I don't cap.
Assuming Trade Machine is right, the Nets would need to give up Dinwiddie, DeAndre Jordan, Karis LeVert, Garrett Temple, Jarrett Allen, and Nico Claxton to make it work.
Oh my God. That's so much depth.
I'm assuming that's using this year's salary cap info, not next year's.
I honestly think I would do it because Stars win in the league.
If you're giving up
That's
all
true.
that depth.
I mean.
Plus, they have their pick. If they don't have to give up their first round pick, or though, would they?
I don't know.
Yes, I think they would. I think they would make them give up their first round pick.
Because right now, Tankathon has Cole Anthony going to the Nets at 19.
I think even if it does happen, I have a hard time believing that team could beat LeBron and Anthony Davis.
They could probably win the East, though.
They would definitely win the East.
I mean, assuming Giannis just doesn't walk all over them.
And assuming that Kevin Durant comes back and is...
If Durant's at 100%, then they could easily win the East.
Even without James Harden.
Well, without James Harden, it's, I think, still somewhat up in the air. With Harden, I think they'd easily win the East.
Didn't you guys pay attention to the Masters this weekend?
Not really. I saw that Dustin Johnson won.
Dustin Johnson.
By a lot.
It was what, minus 20, right?
Under 20. He hit under 20 at Augusta National. That is the
That's
lowest.
insane.
That's the lowest score Augusta has ever seen.
Didn't he win by like 4 shots?
He won by
strokes?
4. Yeah, he won by 4 strokes. That's insanity. Like that's insane. I didn't bet on the Masters. I'm really, really glad that I didn't. But I had a feeling that Dustin Johnson was going to come out and show the world like where he should be.
Where do you rank him right now?
That's tough. It all depends on where tight. I mean, I'm not a whiz at golf just yet, but I mean, he's definitely top 3. I'll put him actually.
If you're doing a tier list, let's make it
If I'm doing a tier list, he's top 5. I'll put him at top 5.
Who else would you put up there?
Tiger, Phil, Rory. DeChambeau was up there for a little bit when he won the PGA, but the what he showed to us at Augusta, oh my God, dude, I think he lost his ball off the tee box twice. I was like it seems like what he does is he just tries to hit the ball as hard as he can, and just see where it lands. Like, if you guys didn't see that, look it up. Like, you'll find it pretty easily. Like, they had a whole search party for it.
Oh man, the entire thing's historic.
Yeah, that was a crazy Masters.
All right, so those were our thoughts on Week 10 of the 2020 NFL season. We talked about some NBA draft and trade rumors, and we briefly touched on the Masters at the very end. If you like this podcast, feel free to like, subscribe, follow us on social media. Remember, the Three Sportsmen is a weekly podcast, so be sure to tune in next week. And remember, trust the podcast.